Well, distinguished hosts, guests, ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. 6 weeks from now, 20 heads of state and government will meet under Italian presidency to discuss solutions to heal the major challenges threatening our world: the pandemic, climate change, migration, social inequalities. A time to heal, indeed. This is not the first time that these issues are at stake, but never in history have we had to face them all at the same time, all in such a global and interdependent world. Never have risks been so high and the road to solution so hard to find. The Italian G20 will have to deliver. And it will have to hear what has been said here in Bologna these last 3 days. Realistically, the G20 is the best assembly for this. The 20 governments may strongly disagree on a number of issues, but they all share similar basic goals, such as protecting their population against illness, hunger, thirst, and violence, ensuring freedom, providing education, and pursuing justice. I am a citizen of France, the country of Louis Pasteur and Victor Hugo, a nation founded on Judeo-Christian roots, as well as laïcité, our principle of public secularism. Our national motto is liberty, equality, fraternity. I represent here MEDEF, the French Employers Association, and its president, Geoffroy Roux de Bézieux. We French employers believe in science, in rationality, in expertise. We know the weight of national interests. We defend trade, growth, productivity, and yes, profit, to finance the investments of today, which will create the innovations and jobs of tomorrow. But we also know that this is not good enough to provide all the answers we need. At the beginning of the last century, social Catholicism was a major actor in the construction of the French economy. It is in France that was founded in 1931, 40 years after Rerum Novarum, the International Conference of Christian Employers. The French retail sector was launched by the Catholic cooperative movement. The French Protestant banking families were powerful until the revocation of the Edict of Nantes. A large part of the French infrastructures developed under the Second Empire were due to Jewish families, whose tradition also made them support science and charities, according to the principle of tikkun olam, repairing the world. We always speak about social justice. When the situation is difficult, remember Winston Churchill's phrase: a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, an optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. In 1944, the future winners of the war gathered at Bretton Woods to plan a global financial governance system that would prevent a recurrence of the crisis of the 20s and the 30s after 6 years of bloody conflict. No mention was made then to the social dimension. The assumption was that prosperity for some would eventually mean at least modest prosperity for all. In 2011 in France, we organized the first Business 20, Labor 20 conference during the G20 in view of coordinating economic and social governance on an international plan. In 2019, 2 years ago, B7 and L7 together signed a declaration on social cohesion and called for an international conference, I quote the declaration, to restore confidence in order to prevent the risk of a growing share of the population feeling vulnerable and losing faith in democracy and the global economy. That was before COVID. We believe that it is possible to redesign international governance in a new Bretton Woods of the 21st century for addressing the real issues of our time. There is no better assembly than this interface forum in Bologna to acknowledge this need, express it forcefully, and promote it worldwide. The Jewish, Christian, Islamic texts, and many others are aligned on our shared dedication to justice. Despite our cultural differences, our singular relations to faith and religion, we know that we can and we shall pursue justice. Today, business leaders and labor organizations need your support, the guardians of conscience, to add your voice, to convince the G20 leaders to act now for a more inclusive and sustainable development, for a better world. As Pope Francis wrote in his message, young people and history will judge us on this. Thank you.